We've come to my favourite place on earth to buy my first ever golf set. Now, I'm a huge believer that you don't have to spend a lot of money to play good golf. I'm also a huge believer that I wasn't that good a golfer back in the day, but who is when they first start? So we're here at Golf Clubs for Cash. This is the Warrington store, and we're going to see if I can find my first ever golf clubs. But not only am I going to do this, there's of course going to be some follow-up videos using these clubs, but we have the man, the myth, the legend. Chris, how are you?
Very good, yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. So let's have a look through into this beautiful showroom and see just what we can find, because I know that we started playing golf at a similar time, did we?
I believe so, we're the same age.
How old were you?
14.
14, I was 12.
No, you did.
You got 2 years on me, no wonder I'm lagging behind. But should we go with my set first or your set?
Let's lead with yours.
Lead with mine. So guys, I started playing golf at the age of 12. A lot of them were hand-me-downs from my dad, from my brother, from anyone really who I could get them from, as yours probably was as well. But we're going to kick things off with a couple of clubs where, should we start with irons? Because irons are something which I've always tried to go on brand name, like Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, as I'm sure you guys have as well. And you can always get a good deal if you buy second hand. Now, I fell over that earlier, so I'm just going to move it. We're actually going to go to the Callaway section for my irons. How much do you think these would have been brand new? Because there's lots of different irons here. Obviously, we have modern day sets, we have the new Apexes, we have the brand new Apexes in the AI 300 and AI 200. And we have some kind of nice middle of the range stuff like the X24 Hot. So you can get some good stuff, like if I were to look at these, for example, and you'll see that for a full set, £241. I think that's bad value for a full set of Callaway irons, which are quite forgiving. But obviously, back in the day, I had a set of these. These are Callaway X14 irons. Now, these bring back a lot of memories. These weren't my dad's, these were my brother's, and I got given these when he moved up into the X16 Pro Series irons. And I used to think back in the day, oh, hopefully one day I'll get to use the X16 Pro Series irons and I'll get to kind of play for the league team or the junior team or whatever he was playing for at the time. And I did. And then we graduated on. And from them, Adam moved on to the Mizuno MP32s. So I got the Pro Series. Then my dad got a set of MP32s as well because Adam hit them really well. And then I got a set of MP32s. I didn't hit them that well, but I was young and naive. So how much would I pay for these now, you ask? Just £155. These have got the actual old school grips on them as well, and they're in really good condition. So I don't think these have actually been hit that much, but they're my irons of my first ever set. And I think these could potentially do a lot of damage against that man out on the golf course, even with a 3-iron. So they're my irons. What are your irons?
Well, the hat gives it away.
Does it?
Ping was the first clubs that I got. Again, I don't think they were hand-me-downs actually. I think my granddad bought me these. They were £125. I've just remembered
Back in the day?
Back in the day. They are right here. So Ping I2 irons.
Check
so the
them
I2
out.
pluses
Are they like pretty much the
and
exact?
they were blue dot at the time when I did get fitted. It was the olden days when if anyone's ever been to Ping and you take your clubs to be adjusted, they used to just put them in and wallop them with a hammer.
They actually did, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the technical way they did it. But again, original grips, so those grips, well, if anyone can tell us how old those grips are, they have never been changed.
Imagine trying to take those off. So if anyone here has changed grips, they are an absolute nightmare because you can't just stand them down. You end up picking them off, don't you, with your nail?
They're on there, got Carlston on them. So they are at least, I would say, 30 years old, I'm going to go with.
How much are we talking for these, Chris?
So 125 when my granddad bought them, £85 now. So
He'd have been pleased with that return, wouldn't he?
he would have been pleased with that return. So again, they've kept the value in these irons. Again, it's one of those, back in the day, I did have a sand wedge. I've just realised that didn't have a sand wedge, but
Interesting how we've both got 3-irons though, because you wouldn't get sets with 3-irons anymore, would you?
yep, 3-iron to wedge. So yeah, they were the first ones. Grips maybe not in the best of conditions.
But a lovely segue to talk about wedges. So wedges were something for me which I actually practiced my short game time and time again, and I really worked hard on them. I've just seen these. Now this isn't to do with wedges, but these are exactly what my dad had. And I'm not going to say these were mine because I didn't get handed these down. My fairway wood is a little bit older than these. I remember when my dad first got these and he was buzzing with them. It's amazing when you come here to Golf Clubs for Cash. I do like looking online. It's a little bit like looking at an auto trader, isn't it? You kind of look, kick a few tyres, have a look, see different clubs. But you do see some stuff that just makes you stop and go, wow, like memories. Our family's golf for all I can remember, so the memories that you find are incredible. And a little mini driver just tucked away there.
Yeah, you don't see that one, man.
No, you don't see that very often, do you? So wedge-wise, I actually had, there were Titleist and there were Vokeys. I don't think I've ever really not particularly used Vokeys when I've been playing, but there were the really old ones. So there were something like these, you know, the really, really old milled steel ones. So this is before really, so they do have, can you tell me the bounce on there?
8.
Is it 8 or a 6?
I don't know.
I think it's a 6. But, so it was this little number here, and it was before all the kind of marketing of bounce and grind, and I can't say what grind it is, no one will know what grind that is. I think it's long before that, but the bounce was just determined there on those last 2 digits. So that's the 60 degree. I also had, and we have looked at this earlier, otherwise we'd have been here all day, but this, so the kind of matching 50 degree, and you can see that that has 8 degrees of bounce on there as well. Oil can, so these are kind of raw ones, very reminiscent of what I'm using today. And for me, the reason why I went for the new Vokey wedges in the rusty finish is because memories like this, spending time on the chipping green when you were a kid, you didn't really have a job, you didn't have much to do, a bit like now actually, but you could practice your short game and get really good. So I'm going to stick a 56 in here or a 54 in as well, and I went for this one. This is a little bit newer, but we don't have the exact specs, so it's as close as I can get. I'm going to stick that in the set, so I've got 60, 56 and 50. They're my wedges, and once again, I'd be happy using these today. Irons wise, X14s, I think they're going to be very forgiving. I can probably get those round, hopefully, but maybe a little bit too much offset than what I would like. But personally, I'm buzzing with them as well. Chris, talk us through your wedges. Hold on, let me guess.
We're going to be there all day, to be honest. But yeah,
Did you grow up at Gainsborough?
No, but it was close to Gainesville. That was the only place really you could get fitted when I was a junior. So again, I had ping wedges. I had a 56 degree, which, well, I had a 52. I had this exact one again, which is also blue dot, which it was.
These could be yours. Did your granddad sell them?
Probably, no, my granddad, to be fair. £31 for that. So again, normally sometimes I did have a sandwich in the set, so I got a 52 to go in between that. I did thoroughly.
Isn't it amazing the value you can get now, though? Because technology hasn't moved on that much. As long as you get them in good condition, which I really do think like these are.
Yeah, that looks pretty much good. I think these would be illegal technically now with the grooves changing, but
you'd be surprised.
For this, and then we had, this is a bit of a newer one.
Oh, gorge.
A couple of generations after, I would say. This is the 56 that I can get. We have SS on the bottom. I'm guessing that means standard sole.
It does, yeah, I think it does actually.
We'll go with that. And then again, even from back then, I didn't have a 60 degree, so only the 2 wedges in there. Again, I wish I could find these. These did generate a lot of spin back in the day.
I dare say if we went on the Clubs for Cash website, we'd probably be able to find them. So we've got irons, we've got wedges. We're now going to talk fairway woods. We could talk hybrids, but hybrids weren't a thing back in no, it wouldn't be that, would it? It'd be 2004-ish?
Yeah,
around the millennium. And it was these for me, so it was kind of Big Bertha, it was steel heads. I mean, I can imagine you with that, Chris. You'd absolutely love that, wouldn't you? Especially kind of the slightly bigger ones. That's a little bit newer, actually. That's more like probably 2007, 8, 9 kind of era. I also had like a really, really old school small Titleist PT3. Do you remember that one? So that was Phil. That was a Phil Scott one. That, and he, because he used to work in the shop when I was a junior. I couldn't hit it, I could never hit it. But the 3 wood I actually had, sorry my friend, I'll sneak past you. It's actually in the sale bucket. Now, again, you come to Golfers for Cash, you can see some really, really good deals. You can get good deals on the internet. You can try not to knock things over. But the sale buckets, you can get some really, really cool stuff. So, and I literally I saw this as I walked in, and it kind of gave me the idea for this series, the old Ping G2.
Classic.
And I remember this, so my dad said to me, he actually bought me this. I'd never had the driver, but he said all the young good players are using these. So we got one. And I don't think it was too expensive at the time, but it did have a graphite blue shaft in it. And I remember him, I think he bought it second hand, and he said, oh, well, it's got a graphite blue shaft in it. And I was like, I'm going to go and play like Grand Theft Auto, Dad. I'm really not bothered about shafts in my 3 wood. But looking back at it, he knew what it was. Yeah, look at these. Pro launch in that one. Ooh, look at that.
8.5 degree.
I'm not sure I'd be able to hit that. Is that a 5 or a 2? It's a 2.
It's a G2.
I never had the driver. 63 quid that. With it, the shaft's worth that. Oof. It's got some bag wear on it, but the G2 fairway wood for me is £31.99. And I think the grip's worth that almost. Nice fresh crossline grip. Chris, what 3 wood were you?
3 woods. I didn't have a 3 wood, actually.
You didn't have a 3 wood?
No.
What did you have?
5 wood.
Or a 7? Was it a 5 or a 7?
Actually, I had a...
I suppose now it'd be like, because lofts have changed, haven't they?
Yeah,
14 degree, that's a right beast now for me.
5.
Well, look, we're back here.
We're back here. Oh, what's this G2 one, actually?
Ooh!
Let's see. Oh, the 5 wood.
Look at that.
Again, they did look fantastic. Different hosel.
They've got like a kind of a golf ball sized half moon, haven't they, on top?
Yeah. Right, but it wasn't that. It was a G5, actually.
Oh, you had the G5, very posh. Steel shaft.
Steel shaft.
Steel shafts were a thing back in the day as well in fairway woods. If you're watching and you are a kind of younger golfer, you might not realise that.
That's another 3
They
wood.
also had steel shafts in drivers, remember?
They
Tiger
did,
had one,
the
didn't he?
Titleist one, yeah. Again, a class.
That does look
on there.
fantastic.
Again, 3 wood there, £43 for the 3 wood.
And that's going to be as forgiving as you like. You're not going to be able to move it as fast with the steel shaft. When graphite shafts did come in fairway woods and drivers, obviously swing speeds did pick up. So evidently ball speeds would pick up if you could hit the middle of the face. Yeah. But I'm presuming you've done some homework here, have you, or not?
I think we're going to go, we'll go G2, although I did have a...
At least we're matching.
We are matching there. And then what happened actually is all these clubs got stolen, and then I ended up with these. I ended up with the 4 wood, which is
and
there.
the 7 wood, you've still got that?
I've still got the 4 wood and the 7 wood. My dad still uses the 4 wood. No 7 wood, but there's plenty of 4 woods there. That was...
7 wood must be worth a fortune.
Gotta be. But that will be going in the bag.
Shall we now have a look at putters?
We shall.
Putters, there's so many things available here, from the latest and greatest to some of the older stuff that, to be honest, is classed more as a collector's item than anything else. Chris, do you ever have a bullseye?
Never had a bullseye, no.
The Golden Goose, I remember from that. Go on, what putter did you have? Because we've got so many Scotty Camerons here. We've got loads of ping putters, Chris. I'm sure you probably had a ping, did you?
I did have a redwood putter. There is one of those over there, but I did have a centre shafted Odyssey putter. So number 2.
Amazingly, so I remember when they brought this steel insert in, it actually wasn't the best, was it? The white hot insert was better and softer.
Mine had the white hot insert.
So my mum and dad, I think my dad bought my mum the 2-ball with this insert in, and then he gave it away and I cried.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But this was similar or close. I still have the putter back at home.
That sounds firm, doesn't it? The story of that as well is actually, he gave it away and I cried, and then when I did okay in my exams, I didn't even exams at the time, they were tests, he gave it me. He says, I never gave it away, I just wanted to work hard at school.
Huh.
So that was that. But I've gone Odyssey as well, because I've had like, I mean, you look at the Scotty Camerons here, I've had like most of them in one form or another, but obviously the first clubs we had weren't that expensive. They were, yeah, it was a bit more of a hand-me-down. And I actually got this when the newer versions came out. So this is the old White Hot. It's as standard as you like. People are still using this on tour now, and it's absolutely fantastic. I did have a thick grip, and I didn't have a Sky Caddy grip, which I've never even know that was a thing. Yeah, but you can literally get this $74.99. The fact that that's held a little bit of value does show, doesn't it, that these are still good. And it's still got, that's the original head cover as well. Because
normally they just disintegrate.
Yeah, they do. Like there usually goes where the leading edge is, and there where the 2-ball is. But they're the putters, guys. So the only thing left to talk about is driver. And drivers where technology's probably come on the most realistically. Because it's cleared out in here since we started.
I will say.
It was absolutely rammed, wasn't it, when we got here? I think people must be sick of us.
What have we done?
But we're amassing 2 fantastic sets from the junior days here. And what driver my driver, it's worth just watching the video just for this, because it's so good.
Well, this again was the original one. This is the one, I believe. Yep, 65 stiff.
Same shaft.
G2 Grapholoy blue. Well, Pro launch.
It was actually. Like, was it stock in that driver?
It was stock in the driver. You either got this or you got the
green. Yeah, Aldilla.
Yeah. So again, those were the 2 options, but this was a club that I enjoyed until it got stolen. So we're rolling back the years now.
And how much is that now?
That now is a grand total of £51.
That's really not bad at all.
That's
I bet they
not
do
bad.
50 quid for cash.
I reckon back in the day when I bought the driver the first off, it was £180, £190. Brand
And
new.
Ping back in the day were the more budget brand, weren't they? They were always cheaper
yeah.
than everywhere else. And I remember when a driver was first £250 and everyone was shocked.
Yeah.
£250
It'd been the
for a
answer
driver.
driver in Ping, not that I know my Pings.
Yeah, yeah. It was probably a tailor-made driver that got there first.
Probably.
But drivers for me, I thought potentially it might have been like a steelhead or something like that, but it wasn't actually. I remember at the time my dad having a Cleveland launcher with the gold shaft, and I had this, and I'm really excited, I can see it here, with the kind of tiger head cover, or tiger print head cover, should I say. It's a 983K, and that, I can't wait. I might test this against the new GT2 or 3 driver, because that, for me, I mean, look how good a condition that is. It's not skied, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's got a pretty new grip on there, nice shaft as well, and that's $34.99.
Bargain.
I did initially think about, I love that head cover as well, do you?
Yeah.
I did initially think about that one. So that's a speeder exclusively for Titleist shaft. And that is the 905R, like that's the slightly updated version. When this came out, in relation to that, everyone was like, oh my God, have you seen the new Titleist? I remember it well. But I didn't have that one. Adam had that one. So,
Of course he did.
guys, if you've enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button. Go and check out the guys, put that back nicely, at Golf Clubs for Cash over on their Instagram if you want. That's linked in the description below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button to see the epic match with our first ever Golf